Homes Team Sports. My boy Prince Shango and I are going to be talking some sports with you tonight. We're here each and every Thursday at 7 o'clock. Just waiting for Adrian to show up. He will be here momentarily. I got some announcements about Around the Turnbuckle this Saturday. On Around the Turnbuckle at noon, it'll be the Around the Turnbuckle presents the 3WA pre-show. For the 3WA, we'll be at the Quakertown at the Q-Mart for Spring into Battle this Saturday night. Doors will open at 6 o'clock. Tickets are $20. Come down and see me and the professor from Around the Turnbuckle. But tonight, our boy Chris, Big Muscle Chris, is down at the first round of the March Madness, down rooting on his Tar Heels. And heel turn Harry is working. So we wish everybody a good time tonight. Once Adrian gets on here, we'll talk some sports. He should be here soon, but like I said, I was late. It was my fault. I was running late. I sent him the link late. I'm late, but we're gonna be here talking sports. It's gonna be me and Adrian, and we'll talk some sports. We got lots to talk about, man. I mean, what a couple weeks of NFL free agency, right? There's a lot going on there. And I want to get Adrian's take on that, and maybe we'll, if there's something you guys want to talk about, that's not on the agenda for us, please send me a comment or something like that. We'll talk sports tonight for the next hour. Adrian should be here ASAP pretty soon. But we'll see. We might get a live report from, Chris is telling me we might get a live report from the courtside from down in Tar Heel Nation down there in North Carolina. The Tar Heels about to open up the NCAA tournament. March Madness has begun. Started a couple days ago, but this weekend it really gets rolling with the first round. You had selections. The brackets are set. The bets are made. Everything's going to be crazy, but, he might be able to go live for a minute or two, live from North Carolina, where the Tar Heels are in round one of the NCAA tournament. They did win today. They won. They beat Wagner, the 16th seed, 90-62. So Chris was at that game. So either he's on his way home or, he's still there. I don't know which, but he did put a picture out on Facebook on the social media. But I'm not going to sit here and talk to myself, guys. I need somebody with me. So we'll see who comes up first, whether it's Chris or whether it's Adrian. We'll talk some March Madness. If you like our show every Thursday, guys, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share, give us a subscription. Subscribe to the Around the Turnbuckle page, and you'll get all the Home Team Sports. You'll get all the Around the Turnbuckles. Even in those archives, if you subscribe to the Around the Turnbuckle if you subscribe to the Around the Turnbuckle YouTube channel, you get all our old episodes of Around the Turnbuckle and interviews from local talent all the way up to CV Ray from Harlem Heat. And you also get old episodes of Spittin' with Spitter with TJ Spitter, who sat down with lots of great interviews there. and you know, you need to check those out. There were some excellent interviews that he did over the past couple of years. There were some real talks in there. Adrian and I were reviewing movies there for a while, and it's hard to keep all these multi podcasts going on. So, like on this whole entire 2M1L Media journey, it's been around the turnbuckle has been the glue that holds everything together. Me and the professor are every Sunday at 6 o'clock, and the boys, Chris and Adrian and Harry, when he can make it, are here every Thursday at 7 to talk sports with you. And for those of you just joining me, I see a bunch of you popping on right now. This is Home Team Sports, episode 11. We are going to talk NFL free agency. We're going to talk about March Madness. We're going to talk about Saquon versus Tiki Barber. And we're going to talk about Kirk Cousins. Big subjects right now. NFL free agency, winners and losers. But I'm just waiting for Adrian because I don't want to talk by myself, guys. I don't want to talk about. But if anybody's watching right now and has a question for me, go ahead and shoot while you have a chance. Okay. I sent him the wrong link. I don't know how I did that, but okay. Anyway, I'm here talking to myself until one of these guys shows up. And so he's laughing at me right now. But yeah, basically, I got a comment right here. Steven, how you doing? What do I think of the Rock Cody feud? I think it's interesting. I do. I think it's interesting. It's good for both. The Rock can come in and do this thing. Be heel Rock. That's what he should have been in the first place. He shouldn't be coming in cracking jokes and stuff like that. The heel Rock, the Hollywood Rock character, bringing that back was a big deal. Do I think it's much of a feud? Because the match itself, we're not going to get a one-on. I don't think we're ever going to get a one-on-one Cody versus The Rock match. They have the tag match set up for Mania, and I think something's going to happen there. I really do. I have a real feeling that something's going to happen involving The Rock and the Bloodline. But I believe deep in my heart that, and I will be at WrestleMania. I will be at WrestleMania 40. It's in Philadelphia, which is about an hour and 20 minutes from my location at this moment. I will be at WrestleMania, and I think I'm going to see Cody Rhodes finish the story. So The Rock is good. He puts asses in the seats. There's no doubt about that. He's a legend. I hope I see you down there, then, brother. I hope I run into you. That's great. I'm glad you're going. I'm glad you're going to enjoy yourself. Still don't have anybody here with me tonight. I'm waiting. They're saying I sent them the wrong link. All right, let me see if I can get the right link then, because I don't know where the right link is. Hold on. My phone is dead, guys, by the way, so I'm going to just use my laptop here. Yeah, you're all like yelling at me. Let's see. All right, let's see. Let's send them the right link. Okay. So let's see. Let's see if that one works. All right, let's see. We'll see. I don't know. But anyway, hi guys, it's Home Team Sports. I'm Big Al. I'm waiting for Adrian to talk some sports. Chris asked to join us too. I sent a link to the home team, and there he is. He's finally here. It's about time you make it.
First of all, I love you to death. I understand that. I love you dearly. I understand you was probably woke up from the middle of a nap or whatever the hell you was doing. But
No.
how you gonna send me a link to a different show? And I'm sitting there like, man, it's 7 o'clock. I wonder why he's not going on. And then I get a notification on YouTube that you live, and I'm like, how the hell is he live? And I'm sitting in the back.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to YouTube and when it comes to Facebook, if you schedule a live and you go past 5 minutes past the hour that you said it, they cut you off.
Oh, that's hurtful.
And so we wouldn't have been able to start till 8 o'clock. But I'm glad you're here, and I'm sorry, and I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
And now all of a sudden, you know what's funny? You show up, and all of a sudden the screen blows up with a whole bunch of viewers. Like, what's going on
We
here?
got viewers. We got people coming in and viewers.
Steven saying relax, and Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers.
you got to just relax. Just relax.
Yes, just relax.
You know, we need to fix this. We need to fix this. So what we're gonna do, what you should do, is you should pause, play the intro video, and we come back in. How about that? That's how you do it. That's how
You want to do it?
Let's do it, baby.
All right.
Wasn't that better? Wasn't that better? That
sure.
was better.
If it makes you feel better, man. But you know what that means? If I sent you the wrong link, that means I sent Chris the wrong link. So he probably hit the same thing.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I ain't starting over. I'm sorry, Chris. You snooze, you lose, brother. You go down to a Tar Heels game. You knew those guys were going to win. You knew they were going to whoop some ass, and they did.
I mean, it's March Madness, first of all. So, Chris, don't listen to a damn thing he is saying. That is awesome.
By the way, big shout out to my cousin Blaze Crimer, because I get notifications when I have a new subscriber to this channel, and my cousin Blaze just subscribed on the premise that we're talking sports. I don't just talk wrestling; we talk sports.
Hell yeah, we talk sports.
Each and every Thursday night at 6 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Each and every Thursday night at 7 o'clock.
Yes, 7.
We talk sports, and we're going to talk about, what do you think of this? Who do you think the free agency winners and losers in the first? Well, they call this the first wave. So when NFL free agency opens up, right, that first 2 weeks is usually the most activity across the league. In that 2-week period. I mean, there's still going to be some free agent moves in the oncoming weeks leading up to the draft, right, but these first 2 weeks of free agency, man, we've had quarterback shuffles. We've had running back shuffles. We've had Giant fans that are butthurt. We're going to talk about that later. But who do you think, in your opinion, like what teams, like give me 2 or 3 teams that were your winners in the past 2 weeks?
First and foremost, Philadelphia.
I ain't arguing.
What they did, that was that. How? Where is he finding the money? He must got like mafia connections, because you got CJ, you got CJ, whatever the hell his initials is, but
GJ.
Yeah, he came back to Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? So that's interesting. They got Saquon Barkley.
They did.
There was this whole tampering shit that they still talking about. So you got that.
They got Devin White,
and they got Devin White to shut down. Man, I'm telling you, Philadelphia is gonna be something ugly. Washington, they did pretty good. I think they did good. Another team I would look at is the damn Jets, because the Jets, first of all, I'm gonna miss him. That's my boy, Blue. But Tyrone Smith is gone, and he's gonna be backing up a better. He's gonna be protecting a better quarterback. So I hate to say it, um, but yeah, I between the Jets and Philly, it's kind of hard to pick. Like they went out and they did what they needed to do, and they were getting people very. They're being very smart and strategic about it. Washington made some noise. They picked up a lot of, but they picked up a lot of Dallas free agents though. In all seriousness,
So I'm
so
going to give you a list of free agents, like key free agents that are still left out there, kind of floating around.
okay,
These are they're not unsigned by their team yet. They are not franchise tagged or anything like that. They are kind of loose. Safety of the Broncos, Justin Simmons. Wide receiver of the Lions, Josh Reynolds. Jadavion Clowney of the Ravens is out there. Kyle Duggar, safety of the Patriots.
mm-hmm.
Odell Beckham Jr. of the Ravens is not signed yet. Adrian Andrews Pete, offensive tackle of the Saints, and I'm going to also mention Bud Dupree, who's an edge rusher from the Falcons. These are the top 10 guys that are still loose out there, kind of laying around. I'm going to give you one more. I'm going to give you. I think that the Steelers did some cool things, and I also think that the Raiders did some cool things
Yeah, they did. They did.
in free agency.
Steelers made
Um,
one big move, uh, and they got rid of a problem child and picked up two more.
I also got to shoot out Kansas City. I mean, I think that they did a couple of things. When usually you would think the Super Bowl championship team usually doesn't do that. Usually
Right.
they just kind of like, oh, we're the Super Bowl champions, we're good. You know what I'm saying? But no, they went out there and they went out and made some moves too, including defensive tackle Chris Jones.
Mm,
That was a big deal.
yeah, it was, and they still have money to pick up.
They got Hollywood Brown too.
Which is
And
going to
and
be a
and the big yeah, and the big and listen, and the big thing about that is if you remember us talking the entire playoffs was that Mahomes doesn't have that guy. Like
that
I mean,
speedster.
not saying that Hollywood Brown is like a top 5 receiver, but I'm saying he's better than the guys that he had this year, and they won the Super Bowl.
And now he got another speedster, like a true speedster.
So can
Hollywood.
we talk about losers? What about the Dallas Cowboys? What the hell are they doing?
Me
Like,
personally, here's like people don't like my take on it, but I'm gonna tell you, I honestly think they are tanking for next year. I honestly think they're tanking because look at everybody they brought in. They're all 1 year deals. Mike Zimmer is a 1 year deal. He is a rental. He is not going to be your defensive coordinator for the future because what's going to happen is Dallas is going to have a horrible year. They're not going to re-sign Dak Prescott because they're ready to move on from Dak Prescott. They're going to get they're probably going to tank to get the #1 draft pick, right?
mm-hmm.
Draft a quarterback that they really like that they can build on, and then bring in the coach that he got talked out of hiring because there was too much of a mess, and he's going to want his own guys. I guarantee you, he's going to want his own guys, and that's Bill Belichick. Belichick will probably be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys next year.
You
Dallas
think?
is, dude, it's looking like it with everything going on. You bring in Jimmy Johnson as your advisor, so to speak, and Jimmy Johnson is not a huge fan of the roster that you have in place. He has come out on record and said he is not a huge fan of the roster, of the work ethic of a lot of these guys, and that he feels like a lot of these guys gave up. So what do you do with that? You're not going to pay them. I'm not going to pay a guy I believe that gets me to the playoffs every year and then chokes. Yeah, he's a good mid-season quarterback, and they try to compare his numbers to Peyton Manning. I understand they got kind of similar numbers, but at the same time, you have got to be able to do something to shore up that team. You let key pieces go. Now, if they get something done with Dak, okay. But you got Stephen Jones saying, "Oh, this cap hit is not a problem." You were able to structure 5 of the $59 million cap hit that he has this year in the money, and you have not done anything with it. You're just re-signing guys that you're probably not going to have next year. you're putting a band-aid on a broken leg. They're gonna. It's. I'm telling you, they're going to shore up key players, key pieces that they feel like they need, i.e., uh, a CD Lamb. Um, they've already got. Yeah, Diggs is already under contract. You got. You just got Michael Parsons is about to come due. So you got three key pieces there. They're going to wipe the slate and start over. That's what I think. So don't expect much from the Cowboys this year. You can tell a lot by how they're going to draft because I think they're going to go. They're going to do what they can to rebuild that offensive line. You got Greg Martin, he'll be 35 next year. So I'm just saying.
What about the Atlanta Falcons? Like, what do you think? I mean, they made some moves too. I mean, they got Kirk Cousins. We're going to talk about him in a minute. But, like, they got Kirk Cousins. They got wide receivers. They got a couple of other moves that they did. I think if we're talking winners or losers, I think they are definitely winners of the first wave.
Yeah.
Like, one of them, not the winner.
What are you going to do behind Kirk Cousins? Who's the quarterback? Ritter? Desmond Ritter?
Yeah, I get that, but that's I don't judge a team by who their backup is.
I would because he's gonna be starting at some point during the year.
I mean, let's roll into that. Let's roll into like Kirk because one of the topics tonight is Kirk Cousins the most overrated and overpaid quarterback in history. The reason why I asked that is because I wish kudos to the guy's agent. He just keeps getting him these jobs.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
He was quarterback of the Vikings. He was quarterback with a big contract. He was quarterback with the Washington Commanders with a big contract. He just keeps getting these freaking contracts, and now with the Atlanta Falcons, these $100 million. He's made almost $400 million in his entire career, and he hasn't done anything.
No, praise
He hasn't won a goddamn thing. He'll get you 10 wins. He'll get you 10 wins, and he'll get you a first-round playoff exit.
Dak Prescott.
That's what he does. Huh?
Dak Prescott.
Who do you think's better, Cousins or Prescott? Because the experts will tell you Prescott is. They will.
Statistically, Prescott. Statistically. So I get Prescott. If you do the numbers, Prescott's a better quarterback.
Yeah.
Not by much.
Hold on, honey.
It's sad. It's sad. You know, that was one of the arguments him and Amari Cooper had, right? He called him the black Kirk Cousins, and apparently he didn't like that. It's funny because it's true. So, yeah.
I'm sorry. My daughter's sick behind me, so I was making sure she's okay. Sure. We got some comments here, some more comments. Jason's here. Hi, guys.
What's up, Mr. Holt? How you doing, bro?
Yeah. Love seeing you, dude. Like, so, Kirk Cousins. All right. I want to bring up Kirk Cousins' stats.
Right.
Because it's relevant to this conversation, man. Like, and I'm no expert on stats. Okay, but this freaking guy, he's 35 years old.
Yep, 35. Right? 35.
You know, he comes in at 2012 with Washington. You know, he was there for 6 seasons. Total yard, he's getting close. He's 500 yards away from 40,000 yards.
Which,
I mean,
he slings the ball.
270 touchdowns, 110 interceptions, and 98.2 rating for his entire career. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's entering his 13th season. 6 of them with Washington, 6 of them with Minnesota. And, I mean, he has a few playoff wins. But other than that, he, you know, He's not.
Good.
He's efficient. He's the word. That's the word I use with him.
He's a game manager.
He's a game manager, right? He's
Game manager.
efficient. There's a handful of those guys in the league, guys that can win you some games, but they're not going to carry the team on their back. They're not going to definitely win the Super Bowl if he doesn't have a shit ton of support around him.
Right.
You know, how about Nick Foles? I'm going to throw Nick Foles. Okay, would you say Kirk Cousins is better than Nick Foles?
No,
You don't think so?
not in the playoffs.
You don't know that though, because Nick Foles only had that one run in the playoffs when Carson Wentz went down.
But that's the only time he's made it to the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. My point is that I think that Kirk Cousins, statistically and talent wise, is a better because Nick Foles never started for any team for 12 years.
Well, this is true. But
This is my point. Nick Foles is not a starting quarterback, but Nick Foles has a Super Bowl championship and more playoff wins than Kirk Cousins. This is where it gets like confusing,
right?
Because Kirk Cousins is the guy that you stick on a team. If you've built enough, the reason why Foles won the championship is because he had a Super Bowl winning team around him. He had a good defense. He had running backs. He had tight ends. He had the best offensive line in football that year. He had wide receivers. He had Alshon Jeffrey. Blah, blah, blah. You put all that together and you stick Kirk Cousins on that same team, he could possibly win. You stick Dak Prescott on that same team, he could possibly win. There's a handful of serviceable guys, and then you have the guys that the experts call the elite guys. You have your Mahomes, you have your Burrow, you have your maybe Josh Allen can get there. I don't know. You have nowadays it used to be the Bradys and the Rodgers and the
Right.
Peyton Mannings, and now this generation it's Mahomes and Joe Burrow and and that kid in Houston looks like he's gonna be
CJ.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So my point is, and then talk about Lamar. He let you down in the playoffs. You know what I'm
that
saying?
wasn't necessarily Lamar. That was the team around him. Lamar, that's
Jalen Hurts. I think the jury's still out on him.
His seasons are inconsistent.
That's my point. So my point is that Kirk Cousins making $400 million over the past 13 seasons is insane to me. It's insane. He's not going to win you a Super Bowl. He's not going to win the Atlanta Falcons a Super Bowl.
Right.
And that's my point. But, I mean, that's my opinion. What's your opinion on Kirk Cousins?
I think Kirk Cousins is – I wouldn't say – I agree with you on them on his agent, because that man needs a Nobel Prize or something, because I don't understand how in the hell he was able to negotiate the amount of money for him he did, but sweet Jesus, come on. Now, as far as him being overrated, I can see why people will be like, well, Kirk Cousins is a little overrated because, like you said, he ain't done nothing. Overpaid? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I guess in a sense I agree yes to both of those, because why would you pay a guy $100 million who's now he can only get you so far? You know what I believe? They believe in the talent that they have around him. He has he's going into another young team that is talented in certain spots, just like he did with Minnesota. He came to Minnesota. They were able to add pieces in meantime, and then his stats went nuts because he was able to get the ball to, superstar receivers and running backs and stuff that he had that he could just dump it off to, and he had successful seasons like that. So now you sit him there with B.J. Robinson. They got that tight end that's supposed to be phenomenal, but he never got the ball. Why? I have no idea. They got a good receiving core. Like it's going to be interesting to see. It's gonna be real interesting to see like what happens this year. Football is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna tell you, like, it's gonna be a lot of upset people come the 24 season because folks, it's gonna be a lot of broken TVs. So buy stock in Samsung and Roku because I guarantee you the prices are gonna go up because people are gonna be replacing them sons of bitches left and right because there's gonna be some fans punching TVs and drop kicking stuff. Matter of fact, call Allstate. If you got stock in Allstate, please invest immediately because houses gonna get burned down because folks gonna be losing their damn mind.
Speaking of people losing their damn minds, I have a lot of friends
The
who
hell?
are Giants fans, and they are just there's one or two that are acting like they could care less.
Right.
You know, they've turned on Saquon Barkley. They say he's washed up, he's injury prone, he's not going to. Good luck with. I've heard. Good luck getting them through about maybe 7 or 8 games.
Yep.
Um,
He runs
yeah,
for like
stuff like
15
that.
yards. Then gonna be
But
like,
one guy in particular. So I listen to WIP in Philadelphia, and they have a sister station, WFAN in New York. And
right.
it just so happens that on that New York station, which they talk a lot of Giants,
Yeah.
Tiki Barber is on that station.
Uh-oh.
And Tiki Barber ran his mouth as soon as he heard the signing of the Philadelphia Eagles of Saquon Barkley. He ran his mouth and said the words, "You're dead to me." And then, because before that, like about 2 weeks before that, when the rumors were there that the Eagles were even interested in Barkley, he was saying if he signs with the Eagles, it ruins his Giants legacy forever. Well, let me tell you something.
What
You
legacy?
just you just said earlier, you, Adrian, just said earlier that one of the winners of free agency has been the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
And they were a first round exit in the playoffs last year. They were in the Super Bowl the year before that.
Yeah.
And they made all these free agency, definitely beefing up their defense. Their secondary was weak. They beefed that up. They got the linebacker. They got Huff from the Jets. They got a weapon. This is the first time in a long time, I think, since like Shady McCoy, that they've invested this kind of money in a running back.
Yeah.
And Saquon Barkley, if he stays healthy, could make an impact on that team the way Christian McCaffrey made an impact in San Francisco. I believe that, but especially behind that offensive line. And I'm tired of hearing it ain't the same offensive line without Kelsey, like our friend Chris likes to say, because the guy that is taking over, Cam Jurgens, you haven't seen him play yet. So wait, because guess who's been training him? Jason Kelsey for 3 or 4 seasons now. He's
Right.
been sitting there being a backup to Jason Kelsey, and it just so happens that Jason Kelsey's never hurt. He played 160 straight freaking games.
Right.
So Cam Jurgens can now show us what he can do. You still have Johnson. You still have the big guy. You still have everybody's the same except the center. You have a new center.
One piece.
So tell me they have a week. This is going to be the best offensive line that Saquon's ever ran behind. So wait. And watch what happens. Now, as far as Tiki Barber goes, after Tiki Barber made his comments on the radio, Saquon took to Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it these days.
Right. Right. Right.
And he made some comments to Tiki Barber, and it was a back and forth thing. I thought it was funny. Giants fans are like, "Yay, Tiki, you speak for all of us." I'm like, grow the hell up, guys. This guy, it'd be like if I don't know, if Miles Sanders, all right, I'm not even going to say Swift because Swift going to the Bears, good for him. He got to deal with the Bears. The Eagles didn't want to pay him what he wanted, and the Bears did. So yeah, listen, I hope he does well there. I wish him well. But I'm picking Miles Sanders because Miles Sanders was our running back for a while. If Miles Sanders went to the Cowboys, do you honestly think, I mean, right from the Eagles, do you honestly think that the Philadelphia guys on the Philadelphia radio stations like Hugh Douglas and Ike Reese would be running their mouths about how much of a traitor Miles Sanders is, and
Probably,
that he's dead to us and he's going
probably,
to the evil empire.
probably because Philadelphia fans are crazy.
Well, the Giants fans are no better.
I mean, they don't throw batteries at Santa Claus. That's all I'm saying.
They're just upset because they have not been relevant for like 15 years.
Look, man, Daniel Jones is the greatest quarterback in Giants history. Okay, he's gonna take them to the promised land with whatever running back. They don't need a running back. They got Daniel Jones. He can run an option the entire time. Just run an option all year. Run play.
They didn't. They paid Daniel Jones, but they didn't pay Saquon Barkley. Why?
I know. I said the same thing. Remember way back, like what they paid? They gave the wrong man money. They gave the wrong person money. I'm sorry. I think what soured them, and I hate to say this, first game of the year, what happened? They get blown out. They get blown out by the Cowboys. They get blown out. Saquon looked like he couldn't get up to speed. He fumbled, which, he doesn't do often. And, one of the lasting images of that game was him sitting there watching them run the ball back, and he just sitting there in the rain, just looking beat up. So I think that kind of soured them. The same thing with Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard was on a 1-year deal. It was like a prove it. Hey, if you say you're the man, prove you're the man. Not behind that offensive line, for one, and two, when you couldn't get up to speed like you used to, and that sucks. The running back market started in a free fall at the beginning of the year last year, and then now it's on an uptake because things have gotten better, and they're paying premium guys like Swift. I wouldn't have left Swift walk.
No.
You give me
if
Saquon
you had a chance
Barkley?
to get, if you had a chance to get Saquon Barkley, I don't think you would have been able to keep Swift.
Yeah, you could have kept them both.
I don't know.
He was able to look, man. That dude is a wizard when it comes to signing people. You mean to tell me he couldn't convince Swift and Saquon to play on the same team? You out your mind. You like what's that?
It's not about convincing them. It's just that
he would have got him. He would have got him. Trust me.
All right.
But I think
I think they're fine. I think they're in a good place. Especially they have new coordinator. They got a new defensive coordinator. They got a new offensive coordinator. They just have a new look about them now. They still have Hurts. They still have AJ Brown. They still have Dallas Goedert. They still have Devonta Smith. All right. All the pieces are in place, but now they beefed up that defense with some corners, with some safeties.
And they got
CJ GJ is back. They got a linebacker that can actually tackle people. They got pass rushers, man. If they keep Hassan Reddick, which that's the big question, if they keep Hassan Reddick, holy hell. I mean, Jalen Carter. I'm excited. I really am.
I think that was like the biggest thing too. Like Hassan Reddick asked for a trade or something or the other.
And we'll see what happens there. But if he's a smart guy, he'll just shut up and play because this team has a good chance to go far.
Basically.
The way they constructed it right now, and there ain't even a draft yet. Let's see who they get in the draft.
Somebody from
man, March Madness is off and running. They had the first four yesterday. Get on in there, and then the first round started today. Our boy was down at the Tar Heels game.
Yes, he was.
And he watched them. And he watched them beat. Yeah, and he watched them murder Wagner. But some other notable first round scores here. We got Mississippi State, Missouri State. 60 Mississippi State. They were the 9th seed, whereas Missouri State was the 8th seed. So that was a bit of an upset there, 69-51. BYU got upset. They were a 6th seed in the first round, and Duquesne took them out. Upset there. Like those are two upsets right off the bat, where those are those bracket busters that in the first round everybody's picking usually sticks with the favorites. Maybe they'll pick a couple of upsets here and there. But there's two upsets right there. The 9th seed taking out the 8th seed. You had the 11th seed taking out a 6th seed. And
Yeah.
then you had Creighton take out Akron, 77.
Yeah, I mean that was a little closer than what the score.
Well, then it should have been. Right.
Yeah, it was closer than what it should have been.
Right. And then, of course, you guys have been talking about Arizona. They took care of business against Long Beach State, and then Chris was down there with the Tar Heels, and they won 90-62 quite handily against Wagner. Right?
He shouldn't have been there, but they made it in. They made it in.
Good thing Chris lives in South Carolina. Good things he's not a Gamecocks fan because they lost.
They got
Oregon. Oregon beat them. That's the 11th seed taking out a 6th seed. Morehead State, they went down to Illinois. You guys were talking about Illinois earlier.
Yep.
Last week and the week before. When March Madness really gets going, we'll talk a lot about it with Chris and you guys because I know you guys pay more attention to it than I do. I just have some scores in front of me here, and there's some current scores going on right now. Well, we talk about Dayton barely squeaking by Nevada. We got some scores happening right now at halftime. These games are all at halftime or close to halftime.
Yeah, Colorado State and Texas.
Colorado State and Texas. Texas looks like they're taking care of business. Kentucky and Oakland are off and running, and they're early in that game. There's some games tonight. Gonzaga takes on McNeese State. That's at 7:25 tonight. So
it's some great games tomorrow too.
Yeah, there's some games late too. Texas Tech and NC State. That's another late game tonight, 9:30. So yeah, March Madness is off and running, man. Your thoughts on that? Because my computer is dying, so we gotta wrap up.
I think there's some going to be some good games, and it's going to lead to brackets. So if Wisconsin beats James Madison, they move forward, and Duke beats Vermont. On Sunday you would have Duke versus Wisconsin, which was going to be a killer matchup. You got Houston and Longwood tomorrow, along with Texas A&M and Nebraska. Nebraska's got a player. That kid that I can't think of his name. He is a shooter. That kid is as Yamada is something. He is a that kid is a shooter. Kentucky, if they can hold on to beat Oakland, and you might have North Carolina State or Texas Tech. North Carolina State, they have a surprisingly good big man who, like, he's huge. And looking at him, you wouldn't think he's not gonna be that athletic, but he dominated in the game. Like it was last weekend, a couple of weekends ago, he dominated that game. He like shooting from three, he was good. He dominated in the paint. It was just unorthodox, but he was scoring. Colorado and Florida, you got Marquette playing Western Kentucky, Gonzaga, McNeese, Sanford, Kansas versus Gonzaga would be a good matchup. That would be a fantastic matchup to watch. Grambling and Purdue playing tomorrow. You got TCU, Utah State. Like either one of those teams, either TCU or Utah State versus Purdue, that'd be one to watch. That'd be a definite one to watch. Saturday, you got Oregon and Creighton. It's a lot of games that are on deck, and there's a lot of good possible matchups that can happen that are just like whoa, because St. Mary's in Alabama, that could be a possibility on Sunday. You already have Saturday, you got Michigan State versus North Carolina. That is going to be a good matchup. That is going to be an excellent matchup because both of those teams play tough. So I can't wait to watch it.
All right, man. Yeah, I'm honest. I've always been honest about basketball. I don't really pay attention to the NBA until the playoffs, and I don't really pay attention to March Madness until you get down to like the Sweet 16, maybe the Elite Eight, because then you get some really. I mean, not that you don't get really good games in the first couple rounds, but like that's when you really get some really like last minute buckets and like
Right.
the teams are a little bit more equal. You get like
Mhm.
when you get down to those seeds where it's like 6 versus 7 or 4 versus 5 or something like that. Um, so have you heard about the Otani gambling scandal?
There's somebody stole something from Otani. Is that what that was? No, I haven't heard much about it.
All right, so let me enlighten you and everybody else on this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't have to tell me about this.
Yeah, so because we're gonna go off the air with this, so he may or may not be involved in a gambling scandal, an illicit gambling scandal with at least $4.5 million that resulted in the firing of his longtime interpreter and friend. Um, the
What?
question, the question is, did he help cover it up? Cover up his losses, as was first reported, or is he a victim of theft? That's the is it a situation where he was helping a friend cover up his gambling losses,
Right.
or is he a victim of theft? You
So
know,
somebody, so his interpreter slash friend could have stolen money from him.
and it's raised a lot of questions about betting on baseball in particular, betting on baseball in America, betting on baseball in Japan. The Japanese fans are like, because let's face it, whenever there's a star like that comes over, I remember, who was the dude from the,
Metsui.
huh?
Metsui.
Yeah, good choice, Matsui or Suzuki, or what was that one guy who was that guy for the Yankees?
Mets.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Anyway, whenever there's a big time Japanese star in Major League Baseball, the entire country gets behind the guy.
Yo,
You know,
absolutely, absolutely.
and it happens in the NBA too. But like I'm saying, when they get behind him, so this guy is one of the biggest stars in the MLB. He's a pitcher that can hit home runs. It hasn't come in a long time in Major League Baseball. So he got that big contract from the Dodgers. The Dodgers are used him and some other pieces, and they're stacking up this major super team, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I look at it a lot of ways, right? When you have a guy that's that big a star and gets that big kind of contract like that, it's always like there's these reporters that are trying to find something on the guy, like something,
Absolutely,
some
absolutely.
kind of dirt, some kind of whatever, blah 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 blah. But it says here that one additional mystery should be how attitudes in the U.S. towards sports betting have shifted so quickly. Because remember, it used to be a thing you swept under the rug. It used to be something that was illegal and that you had a bookie for. My grandfather used to talk about his bookie. God rest his soul. Used to make a phone call, say he want X amount of dollars on Cleveland to win this Sunday. But you know what I'm saying? So everybody had these connections. Now it's on the internet. You have apps. You have sports betting apps, and
Exactly.
it's legal, and you can bet anywhere, even though in some states it's not legal.
Right.
But anyway, I'm sure that'll all change. But
Yeah, very so.
technically speaking, and I'm not going to name the sports betting apps because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. But I mean, the access to it is so easy. It's so easy to pick these parlays and blah 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 blah. So Japan is now, so U.S. What we were talking about was the U.S. is now we all think it's okay now. It's not. It's just something now that's kind of like
Has
okay.
happened.
It was a bad thing. It was illegal, but now it's kind of common, and that all happened from the Supreme Court decision in 2018 when they opened the door to nationwide gambling as long as you were gambling on an online betting service, which their service was strictly that for that.
Right.
And again, it's become so easy to just download an app, put in your
Yep.
information,
It's
hit
simple.
a couple of buttons, man, and you're betting on tonight's basketball game.
Exactly.
So Japan of course, is saying, "Well, look at these Americans.
They do not.
You send our boy over to America, and what happens to him? He gets involved in a gambling scandal. See how those Americans, those damn evil Americans, are corrupting our boy." So now now it's raising eyebrows again about gambling in general. I don't know. That's
Right.
all I know. That's all I know. Is it gonna end up in court? Probably not.
It will, because somebody getting sued and put in prison. You can best believe. You can best believe, because the Dodgers gonna get behind that, because that's their
But I
biggest
think it's
star.
more about sports. It's not so much about Otani as it is about raising the stakes on sports betting.
Oh, it's gonna be about Otani, but they're gonna slide. It's under the umbrella that it's about sports betting, but it's about Otani. But it's about sports betting because of Otani.
Yeah, but
But
the
it's about
contract he got, man, dude, he's going to be able to just make this go away with lawyers and money and you
not if
know.
he's the victim. You don't think, man? Look, this
Oh, if
is
he's the victim, yeah, but I
oh,
mean, either he's the victim or
it's some shenanigans.
right. So which one is true?
Uh, no speak English.
Oh, how about this? If this guy keeps playing the way he's playing and maybe wins a championship or two, would you say that in 10 years from now, if his stats are, continue to climb, he'll be a, Hall of Famer in the future?
I can't say that because there's a
Let's just say that, yeah, he never gets injured. He just keeps getting better. He keeps pitching. He wins the Dodgers a championship, maybe one or two, and he stays with the Dodgers the rest of his career, and he ends up being one of the best players in the history of the game.
Mhm, mhm. So like
And
a
gets the,
Japanese Pete
and then
Rose.
it's time for him to get up to the Hall of Fame. And oops, there was a gambling scandal in 2024.
Yeah.
There was
So
a guy named Pete
Pete
Rose
Rose, yeah, yeah,
who's
yeah,
not in the Hall of Fame because of a gambling scandal. I'm
yeah.
just saying,
So you're saying he's gonna be the
I
Japanese?
hate the fact. Listen, I love watching the kid play. I hate the fact that the name Otani and gambling scandal are in the same sentence. Right there on our damn. I'm taking it off the screen because I don't even want it on the screen anymore because it when I heard about it, I was like, come on, man.
Right.
This is a guy who's supposed to be the current version of Babe Ruth,
Yeah.
because he can pitch, he can
Yeah.
hit home runs.
Yeah.
He's an attraction.
Well,
And the
I mean,
Dodgers,
yeah.
and we talked about it like at the end of last season. The Dodgers, when all the free agency started after the World Series, we talked about it. The Dodgers are stacked. Who's going to beat the Dodgers? But then Chris is like, wait a minute. The Dodgers do this every damn year. They have a great record, best record in baseball, and then they're out in the first round of the playoff. All right, we'll see. They didn't have
Yeah.
Otani then. I'm just saying.
Nope, they did not. They did not. And
All
then
right,
they
man.
picked
You have anything else you'd like to talk about before we get out of here?
no, you can catch my boy Al every was it Saturday that you're doing around the time?
Sunday nights at 6 o'clock on Around the Turnbuckle.
You can catch me
This,
Monday.
this week's guest is the one, the only. Thank God for that.
One and only.
Rico Hendricks.
You doing Rico Hendricks?
Rico Hendricks. You know him?
God bless your soul. Nah, not
Rico
at all.
Hendricks. Yeah,
Not at
Rico
all.
Hendricks. You don't know Rico?
No, I don't know Rico.
It sucks that you don't know Rico
Does
because
Rico know
people will.
Rico?
Well, you should tune in on Sunday then because people are going to know Rico.
People are gonna know Rico, but
They're
you
going to
know
know
Rico.
Rico.
I don't know Rico, but
I
they gonna
do
know
know
Rico.
Rico.
Yo,
So
you do
Rico's
know.
on. So Rico's on Sunday. You can catch Adrian here on the Three Beards Wrestling podcast.
Yeah, I'm a little trimmed right now, so I'm not very bearded.
Monday nights at is that 7?
Yeah, Monday nights at 7.
Monday nights at 7 on
square.
YouTube. Three Beards of Wrestling.
Three
Like
beards.
look it up with the number
Well,
3.
It's two beards in the 5 o'clock shadow right now. But I'm working on it. I'm using a mirror.
Are they giving you? Are they giving you still giving you shit about Sushi King
Yes, yeah, Sushi Heaven. Yeah, they are.
or Sushi Heaven? I'm sorry,
that,
Sushi
that
Heaven.
place is amazing. Let me tell you something. If you ever get a chance to go to Sushi Heaven, please just don't tell me about it. Go.
Where is it? Is it out by Harrisburg?
Oh, Harris. It's Mechanicsburg. They got one, I think, in Lancaster. Not
Well, if
mistaken.
if they have one in Lancaster, I could do that because I'm down there sometimes.
It will change your life. All you can eat sushi, all you can eat stuff, man. Let me tell you, it's amazing. He's buffering right now. I'm telling y'all, go if you get a chance. Go to sushi heaven. You lose your minds. You will lose your minds. You're gonna get fat, super fat. Tell him I sent you. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm still here. No, we're still live. Yeah, I'm looking at the counter right now. It says live with 56. Oh, what? Why does it tell you to go live? That's weird. Well, now it's me on the screen. Now it's just me on the screen. I can still hear you. I'm the only person on the screen right now. This is. I'm positive. I'm looking at it. Bye. All right. So, do I push a button? Can I push? Uh, yeah. Let's do this one. I can't see it. You hear that? I can hear it. And I'm still the only person on the screen. This is hilarious. I am still the only person on the screen. This is funny. Well, ladies and gentlemen, um, we are going. Until next time, guys. Do, 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 do.